So this might be the worst editing app I've ever used, but I will be using it for all of my reels moving forward. Instagram launched Instagram Edits globally, and today I'm going to share how you can turn this editing app into an actual growth strategy for Instagram for you and your clients. Make sure you stay all the way till the end because I will be giving my honest thoughts on things on the downside of using this app. Hey, my name is Milou and I own a $500,000 social media marketing agency, and I now help social media managers like yourself do the same. Now, if you are an aspiring high-paid social media manager, make sure you download my free guides that'll drop right here. Now let's go. So the first thing you need to know to turn Instagram Edits into a growth strategy is their strategic insights. Now, I was mind blown when I downloaded the app for the first time and I skipped right over the actual editing interface and I noticed their insights. And I'm going to walk you through it right now. So this might be the best Reels analytics that Instagram has ever launched. And you know me, I'm all about data. I own a data first marketing agency, and data is power when it comes to marketing and being a social media manager. So if you go inside the app, all the way to the right, you see this little data icon. Now you will see the regular account insights. Now note that when you first download the app, you will log in with your Instagram account. So the data and analytics is based on the account you logged in with. So I'm logged in with my own account, so I can see the regular overview of insights such as my Reels views, my reach, how many followers I gained in the last 30 days, likes, comments, shares, and saves. Now you can change this from 30 days to 7, 14, and 60 days. Now, this is great insight just for you to keep an eye on Reels. Now, I've always found that Reels can be a hit or miss, and I'm sure you've experienced the same, where certain things work for certain people, not necessarily for others. You're quite unsure where the real views come from. You have a lot of bots once you get a lot of views, right? And so this is what is going to make that difference and really create a growth strategy. Because if you go down here, the general insights are fine. We've obviously already had access to those inside of Instagram, but here you can see all of your reels. If I tap in here, I'm going to show you exactly what kind of insights it gives me. So now when I'm inside of each reel that I want to check out, I can see so much more insights that I've never been able to see before on Instagram. So what's interesting here is that it shares my regular insights from this one reel, but also it will go into my skip rate. So this is how many people actually skipped my video and may have not been interested in the video. My like rates, again, this is compared to the average video I do, the comment rate, the save rate, share rate, and average watch time, which is getting so more important on Instagram. And this is really important because this is going to tell you why certain videos do better than others. Of course, we want to keep the skip rate low, but there's always going to be people skipping your videos. The average watch time is so important because we want people to watch your content, be watching your reels for as long as possible. And obviously, comments, saves, and shares adds on to you getting pushed in the algorithm because people are engaging with it. They're sharing it. The visibility is increasing. Now, when you go down here, it will show you a breakdown of how many followers versus non-followers saw your video. But now, even more valuable, is going to take your social media strategy to a whole nother level and turn Reels into actual growth, is the sources of your views. Thank the heavens, Instagram, we needed this. Because where the heck are all these views coming from? So it will show a complete breakdown of whether it came from their actual feed, whether they found me on the Reels tab, whether it came from stories. Should we be sharing those Reels to our stories, right? For my profile, and then explore, search, and other. This is so valuable to know because now I can see, okay, most of them came from the feed, which makes sense because the majority of people who saw this video were actual followers and not non-followers. I can see because people were watching it, it got pushed in the Reels tab. So those people who didn't follow me yet, they would have seen my video there. I can see that stories really did help this video. And I actually shared this video multiple times on stories on different accounts I had, from the Elite Social Society to the agency to my own personal brand. And so it really shows me that that did push views, which is very important to know. And because the video was on, this was actually on Reels Edits, the new Instagram app, it did get pushed in Explore too. This was the first video I created inside of this app to announce the same information I'm sharing with you today, but way more in depth because I have a lot more time with you today. And so this is key for you to show clients and really look into, so that you can create more of the type of content that either comes from different sources where you want to bring people from. Now, what I really love is that, of course, this only shows insights on Reels, but it does show the same insights for trial Reels. Now, this is super valuable if you have the Reel trial feature on your account, on a client's account, and you want to know where this traffic comes from. This is really helpful to know, especially when something takes off. So this is key into going and seeing literally all of your Reels and finding why certain videos got skipped over and others had a way longer watch time. You will find that the videos or the Reels with the most views typically get good engagement. People are interacting with it, and the watch time is high. Now, in order for you to get someone to watch you for a longer time is to make the video very interesting, have a strong hook. And when I say interesting, I mean, if you have a hook, you can't give it away right away in your video. You need to get people to continue to watch, make it interesting, and then give them the answer at the very end. There's a whole science to Reels and videos, which I can share with you in a completely separate video. But this is the most valuable tool today out there that you can have for your Reels that you're creating specifically on Instagram. The second thing you need to know about Instagram edits in order to turn it into a growth strategy is the ability to store your notes all inside of one place. Now, I'm sure Instagram is aware that we all use the Notes app on iPhone. It's probably my most used app outside of all the social media apps, where I store all of my post drafts. I store brain dump ideas. There's so much in there that I use, and as unorganized as it is, you know, that's how I currently function. Now, Instagram decided to bring some of that into their Instagram Edits app. So if you go to Instagram Edits, you will find there's its own tab for stickies. This isn't your own idea folder where you can write sticky notes, your saved folders, collections that you may have shared and created with other people to save inspiration. But these sticky notes allow you to bring them right here in the app for your specific account. Now, the cool thing is that you can even color coordinate into different colors, as you can see here. Maybe you use one color for one content pillar. Let's say yellow might be for trends, then orange could be for educational content or brain dump post ideas, and then pink could be for entertaining Reels ideas. And so you can have all these ideas very organized inside of one place. Now, it gets better. Once you're inside of the actual Reels tab that it obviously has in this interface for you to research all inside of one place, very focused, you can start adding sticky notes here as well. So let's say I'm scrolling, I'm checking these out, and I'm like, oh, this is a great idea. I can do something similar. And so I'm not only gonna save this idea, but I'm gonna add a sticky note to it and say point of view, social media managers in business before, after, something like that. And I'm gonna hit add. So now what happens is that if I go back to my sticky notes tab or my ideas tab and I go into saves, you will now see that I did not only save that idea, the reel, but I also added my content ideas right then and there as a sticky note to the reel. Now, this is super helpful because usually we save a bunch of reels and then later we're like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? And so this is a great way for you to look at this and go back into when you're ready to film. And then you say, okay, aren't you scared of failing your business? Okay, I can do this point of view for social media manager with a before and after. So now I know exactly what to film days later or when I'm ready to record again inside of this app. This is probably one of my favorite features, even though I love data. I thought this was very, very clever. Because now you have your stickies, you have your saved posts, all inside of one place. Mind blown. The third thing you need to know about Instagram edits is the thought process behind the app. Now, whenever Instagram launches any new features, let alone a separate app, there is obviously a thought process behind it for them, meaning that they want us all to use this app, especially if it's related to Instagram and we're creating content on Instagram. Of course, they're going to want us to use this app to create the content instead of obviously huge competitor CapCut that is doing similar things. So this is a major reason for me as a strategic social media marketer to be using the app if I'm creating reels on Instagram. Again, for the very first video I created inside of the app and published, I did this all inside of the app because once you export the video, the reel, and publish it immediately to Instagram, it will pop up with a little label that says made with edits. Now, this label is very, very similar, shocking, to the CapCut label of made in CapCut, but this drives people directly into the app when they click on the label and they can see, oh, this was created with edits. That's all great, right? But you know that if you're using new features that Instagram wants you to use, is obviously going to push your content more than a TikTok watermark or, a CapCut watermark, you name it. And so I would encourage you to try and use these features the way they were intended to do. Another thing is that if they add this label, and again, you're using it because you know it's going to help, this is completely free advertising for Instagram and their app, right? You are using this label, you're creating content, and it's automatically spreading the awareness without having to pay influencers or UGC creators because you're creating with the app and the word is spreading itself. Very clever Instagram, but also something you need to take advantage of. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't want to be creating content inside of the app live all the time. That's exactly how I was feeling, but you do have the ability to actually upload pre-recorded videos while you edit them inside of the app. So what I'm thinking in the future, if I have content that was already done or edited somewhere else, upload it inside of the app and still, edit with it or at least export it from the app so that you can get the label for Instagram specifically, push that content, get the data later on, and voila, problem solved. The fourth thing you need to know about Instagram edits is its actual interface and how it functions. While I like the simplistic design and the way it works, it's very user-friendly, and I'm not gonna bore you with all the editing features you can literally find in any other editing app, but there is one thing it does lack for us social media managers: managing other people's accounts. Because it has such great analytics, of course it's tied to the Instagram account you logged in with. Now, so far what I've found is that there's no super easy way to switch accounts just yet. So when I go into my account and I log out, I now would have the ability to switch accounts right here, right? I can switch account and log in with another account, but for now there's no very simple way for me to toggle between accounts. So I'm going to go back and log in with my account because you need to create content based on your account so you can share it as you can see your data and all of that good stuff. So if you're juggling, let's say 10 clients, this is not ideal, right? Of course, it's still early days, but that's something you want to keep in mind and that I thought wasn't so great. Now, as far as the actual editing and camera, of course, it's really easy to go and find new content ideas because it seems like it's a bit more focused than just, doom scrolling on the app itself. It's really easy to use audio, save it, add those sticky notes we went over earlier, and then going into the actual editing where you create a new project, you will find in the recording that I actually do love the quality of the camera. I think the quality of the camera is great, even if you turn on the touch up feature if you're not feeling yourself on the day. I think it's very great. It looks high quality. You can change the quality actually in here as well. It looks very good editing in here. It's very simple. You can use timers like we always could. The green screen is very great because there wasn't the ability to do this inside of Instagram where you could have a filter or touch up and a green screen. And so now you actually have both. So I can turn it off and you can see me like this, or I can turn it on and my eye bags are gone. Great. And so you can change the background, you can green screen and then switch to no green screen. You can edit, you can, add text. So I'm just gonna record this video for you just to show you what it would look like. Of course, I didn't add a background right now. Then going into the actual interface here, where I tap next, you'll see it's very user-friendly. You can add your captions, you can have your voiceover, you can add your audio, your text, cut yourself out, and all of that good stuff. It is like a very beginner-friendly, user-friendly editing app that has everything you would need to create great content. So that all looks great, and I do think is good when it comes to the app and using their features. Now, this wraps up my Instagram edits, how to turn this into a growth strategy for yourself or for your clients. If you haven't used the app yet, I highly recommend you to do so. Play around with it, see what insights you get from it, how your content performs, and use that data that is literally handed to you on a silver platter to start creating better content, get your clients better results. And until then, I will see you in next week's video.